vault or so. That's the weirdest quotes anyone's ever seen. Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for tuning in to what's going to be a video all about the best purple eyeshadows I personally know and own. A couple of videos back, I reviewed the new Butter London and Pantone collaboration collection they did to feature the 2018 Pantone color of the year, which is Ultraviolet. And in the comments section of that video, a lot of you guys were talking about the lack of good purple eyeshadows out there and how you were interested to see what brands were going to come out with, knowing what a tricky eyeshadow shade it is. And I honestly didn't realize it was that hard of a color to come across. I personally have and love, obviously, a lot of purple eyeshadow products. And so I thought that would be a good time to talk about them in case you are looking to add that ultraviolet pop of color to your makeup collection for 2018 and you just don't know what's out there. So here are some of my favorites. This particular focus was on individual shadows, whether they're available in magnetic pans or individually packaged pans of product, just because, yes, there are a lot of palettes with purple shades in there, but if you don't want all those other colors, and if you're just not willing to fork out the money for a whole palette, these are some good alternatives where you can just buy one and be done and enjoy it. So let's go ahead and dive in. I first want to start with individual pan shadows, like little magnetic shadows you can buy individually. They don't necessarily come in packaging. And I'm actually, the palette that I'm keeping these in currently is from the brand Adept Cosmetics. I've mentioned them a couple times here on the channel, mostly for their palettes. They make these amazing, gigantic palettes that, for the amount of shadows they hold, are super compact. They have two panels of magnetic sheets that have a thin, like, acrylic or clear barrier between the two, so you don't have to worry about anything shattering and busting into something else. But this is a new launch they came out with for the holidays, I believe. And it has this cool marble exterior. It's more of a cardboard packaging, whereas the others are a little bit heavier plastic. But look at how big this is. It's just such a pretty vanity piece. Not at all a part of this, but I just figured if I was kind of showing it to you guys, you might want to know where it's from. So let's first start with these. Also, kind of an aside, I tried to look for true ultraviolet colors. There are a ton of light pastel-y kind of purples, iridescent light purples, tons of those that I didn't bring into here because we would be here all day if I did. I tried to stick as close to the true, ultraviolet color of the year color as I could to narrow the options, but still give you a lot to choose from. So that said, here are the ones I want to talk about first. First, let's start with Makeup Geek. I chose a couple of her foiled eyeshadows, mostly because I found the best color matches there, but also because I don't have her new formula. When she first came out with the shadows, I bought kind of the original vault or so. That's the weirdest quotes anyone's ever seen. I bought the original, like, large collection of shadows, and since I still have it, but since then she has reformulated, so I just want to make sure they're true to the formula that's currently out there. I do, however, have the original or the current foiled formula. So the shades that I chose were Masquerade. This is a little bit closer to the true ultraviolet color from Pantone. And then I also have Caitlin Rose, which is a slightly blue base version of that. I love the foiled shadow formula, but I do want to say a lot of people have had troubles with them creasing because they have a little bit of oil in them, I believe, to help them spread and smooth so evenly and pigmented across the lid. It's what makes them almost feel like a cream consistency. I have not had any trouble with them budging or creasing on me, but I also always use them with a good eyeshadow base, and I more often than not pair them with some other matte shadows like in the crease or to add depth, things like that, so that might also help hold them in place as well. But I personally love this formula and so had to include them in here. The next shadow comes from a brand that I just feel is way underrated, period. It's from Strobe Cosmetics, and this is the shade Dreamweaver. It's more of a grapey purple, kind of a deeper purple as well. It lacks kind of that magenta pop that I feel like an ultraviolet has, but it's another incredibly pigmented purple alternative if you're looking for a good purple shadow. They're also super affordable, and in an unrelated note, Strobe Cosmetics has a couple of American Horror Story themed collections, which is always the way to my heart. So, it's a brand worth checking out, and this especially is a shadow worth checking out if you're looking for a good purple. On to some more muted purples. I have two from Anastasia Beverly Hills. One is a shimmery shadow called Opaline, and the other is a matte shadow. This one is called Violet, and both of these, like I said, aren't quite the electric, don't have the electric quality of ultraviolet, but they are great purples in my opinion, especially good blending colors if you're looking for something to help blend that ultraviolet color out. These are two that I would definitely recommend. And I will have another more popping matte purple coming up later in the video. Let's finish off the shadows in this palette with these two. The first one is from Makeup Forever, and this is in the shade I-922, so it's an iridescent purple shade, again, kind of a true grapey purple here to compare it next to Dreamweaver. You can see Dreamweaver is a little bit more bluish, whereas the I-922 is just a true purple. And Makeup Forever in general, I love their shadow formulation, whether it's iridescent, metallic, matte, you name it. I think they're good across the board. And the last one is more of a duochrome, but I saw this and I just had to include it because it's one of my favorite shadows, period, ever in the history of ever. And it absolutely has like the ultraviolet essence at heart. This is from the brand JD Glow. It is from the Galaxy collection of shadows in the shade Anomaly. And at some angles it has like that ultraviolet look, and at others it has this blue, and then it even shifts to kind of a light blue teal almost look to it. It's such a cool shade, and you get so much product for the price of these shadows. I have a whole video talking about the shadows that I have from the Galaxy collection, so if you want to go check that out, I will link it up here. Click the eye or check the description box below for that link. But I love these shadows, and this one especially hit the mark for an ultraviolet. I also have two more individual magnetic pan shades. They are in this palette, however, because this is a harder one to pop them out of. It's from the brand Block Cosmetics, which I discovered and purchased from when the makeup show came down to Dallas. Obviously I wanted a solid sampling because I bought an entire set which fits in their Trailblazer palette, but this is another one where they were really reasonably priced, especially for the amount of product you get, and I was really impressed with the quality. So the two shadows I'm going to talk about here, I can't see the names because they're on the back, and like I said, it's hard to get these out. But there are these two purples right here. Again, I feel like this one is more of the true ultraviolet purple, whereas the one over here is more of a blue leaning purple, but they are both matte and they are both amazing shadows. Okay, now let's move on to the individually packaged shadows. The first of which, let's go ahead and talk about the matte shadow in here. This is from the Kiss Professional individual shadow line. I think they sell these at Sally's. At least that's what a lot of you guys told me when I did a video about these. I got this, or I ordered this from Octoly, so they sent it to me for free, and I have a whole video on the shades they sent me, but just spoiler alert, in that video, I go on to tell you I was so impressed with these single matte shadows because they're $4. You get a ton of product and the quality is totally there. So the shade, the purple shade in particular that I really want to talk about for this video, is called African Violet, and I have a demo in that video, the one where I review this set, that I will link to. So you can actually see how pigmented and how super easy to blend it is. I mean, talk about an electric purple. That ain't no lie. So yeah, $4 for this guy, it's totally worth it. Another one that's really affordably priced is from Milani. This is part of their Bella Eyes Gel Powder Eyeshadow collection, and this is in Bella Purple. It's not quite as electric as like an ultraviolet shadow, but again, this could be used in conjunction with an ultraviolet in your collection, or, you know, used to blend throughout the crease because it has more of a matte slash satiny feel, and to top it off, it's kind of more of a muted or mauve-y, sort of like a dustier purple sort of look to it, so it's another good best friend blending color in that respect as well. Then for a brighter, more shimmery alternative with more of a mousse texture, or what do we call it, like a pressed mousse texture, is from ColourPop. This is the shade Dare, and this, I just looked on the website to make sure it was still available. Mine is relatively old and has kind of lost its bounce, but it hasn't lost its pigment, interestingly enough. And so I went on the website to make sure it was still available, and it's on sale for $4, which kind of makes me think it might be going out of production, or just might not be there too soon. So if you are interested in this shade, I recommend you go check it out now. But yeah, it's a really great, again, another electric purple. It has those shimmers, and the shimmers match the base, so it's not like it's a purple base with a gold or a blue or whatever shift. It's kind of electric purple through and through. The last two products I want to talk about kind of deviate from the pressed powder pattern that we've had so far. The first of which is from Sigma. It is a loose powder, or a loose shimmer as they call them, and this is the shade Supernatural, which again is not exactly like ultraviolet spot on. It's a little bit deeper. I'd say it's more of a blackened purple, but with a pigment like this, you get a lot more versatility. You can really sheer it out across the lid, you can build it up, you can wet your brush with a mixing medium like a Fix Plus or like an Inglot, whatever their mixing medium is called, to make it into a super pigmented paste or liquid to really build up across the lid. You just get so much versatility, and it gives you that intense pop of purple, or sheared out pop of purple, like I just said. And I saved the best, or my favorite, for last, and it's not at all a powder product. It's from the brand Anastasia, which I haven't talked about at all on this channel. It's actually relatively new to me. This is another one that I discovered at the makeup show, and I just haven't found the opportunity to use it here on the channel because it's a really unique product. It is her it's her Color Fix 24-hour cream color. I bought so many of these when I was at the makeup show, including just a clear one that I think you're supposed to be able able to mix with powder products to turn any color or any powder that you have into what is essentially this 24-hour cream product. But among the other things I bought was this guy. Again, it's the 24-hour cream color in the shade Wild Orchid, and I just had to do a demo video applying the eye look that I'm wearing today to show you how pigmented this is and how easy it is to apply. Now granted, I am wearing it over some other shadows. I filmed something just before this, and so I have this kind of light smoky look across the lid to kind of help blend, especially in the crease, and then I do go in after I'm done with this to help blend the crease out even more. But oh my gosh, the way this just so smoothly and evenly spreads across the lid with just the tiniest amount, and it doesn't get patchy, it's super easy to build. And the pigmentation is insane. The nice thing about these is they can be used pretty much anywhere: eyes, lips, cheeks. This is not, you know, a shade that I would wear every day on my lips and cheeks, but I did buy kind of a dustier, more, on my skin tone would be a natural looking rosy tint so that I could use it on the lips and cheeks. So just know that these, you know, if you are gonna dip your toe into this line, it does have more versatility beyond the eyes, but ooh, if you go for one of these bold shades, it's phenomenal. I don't have the words, clearly. And I know it's a cream, but just a little tip in application if you decide to try these is I would still recommend doing these first before your face makeup, because as they dry down, I get just teeny tiny little crumblies, and they are pigmented crumblies. So if you go to swipe them away, you will just get little streaks in your under eye area. The crumbling totally stops, like it's not a long lasting kind of thing. It's just like excess, where there are excess product and pigment will kind of fall down. And so it's just kind of a pain in the butt to have to deal with if you've already applied foundation. Not impossible, because I actually did it today, but just a hot tip if you are trying these out and you're like, what, you know, I didn't expect this kind of fallout. It does happen, but in my opinion, it's totally worth the ease of application and pigmentation. So those are all of my purple / ultraviolet picks. If you want to see others, like maybe in a different, you know, like the lighter shade range, the iridescent shade range, definitely let me know. But I had to get this out there because when a lot of you guys were telling me that you just didn't feel like brands could deliver on the purple, or like they hadn't already delivered on the purple, I was kind of scratching my head because I feel like these are some amazing shadows. So if you hadn't heard about them or discovered them yourselves, I wanted to let you know because they're fantastic. So definitely share your favorites with me down in the comments below as well. I look forward to reading those. Besides that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.